Sometime in the month of January 1937, the Highland Chamber of Commerce sent letters to all the organizations and societies in the city asking them to send representatives to a meeting to make plans for the 100th anniversary of the city of Highland. As a result, a Centennial Association was formed with a board of directors who elected their own officers. Weekly meetings were held by the board, and the dates of August 13th, 14th, and 15th were selected to hold one of the largest celebrations ever to be held in Highland, with each and every resident participating in one form or another, and it worked out to be just that. Memberships for $1 or $5 were sold, raising the amount of about $6,000, which was the working capital of the association. The theme of the celebration was to be Our Swiss Heritage. The celebration started on Friday the 13th at 1 o'clock noon with the dedication of the new $20,000 fountain in the plaza. The fountain had just been completed in the plaza in the square in the center of town that until 1936 had been the site of our public school. A lucky addition to the celebration was the presence of Franz Hug, an internationally known flag thrower from Switzerland who had recently won the Olympic contest in Berlin and who was on a tour of the United States. He was a tall, handsome, blond young man who could throw the flag 40 feet in the air and catch it as it came down. Flag throwing is a popular sport in Switzerland. He performed many times, was a joy to behold, and was loved by all. Following the dedication, there were various events at Lindendale Park, where there were also many interesting and detailed displays by Highland Industries. On Friday night, the historical pageant, which portrayed the coming of the first Swiss settlers as they arrived on Looking Glass Perry, and events leading up to the present 1937, with a cast of 600, a chorus of 55, accompanied by the Highland City Band, was given for the first time, and the Centennial Queen was crowned. The Centennial Queen was Miss Marie Winter, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Bill Winter, and a sister to the late Lenny Winter. Marie is now a resident of Granite City, the wife of Frank Baker. In the summer of 1984, she returned to Highland to appear on the sesquicentennial float in the J.C. Homecoming Parade. After the pageant, which was held all 3 nights, there was dancing in the hall in the park, and for the ever-loving Swiss, there was the Alpine Inn set up in a large tent at the entrance to the park. Here, the Swiss and non-Swiss could enjoy Gemütlichkeit, dance to Swiss-German music, drink Schatz o Lager beer, eat delicious sandwiches from Nybar's Meat Market, and listen to the quartet of Swiss yodelers from Kansas City who were natives from Switzerland. This proved to be one of the most popular spots of the celebration. On Saturday afternoon, there was a children's parade. All floats and entrants encouraged to be in the historical vein. Saturday afternoon, more contests, flag throwing. At 6 p.m., the big parade, limited to 20 historical floats, depicting and pertaining to the settling and present growth of the city. The first was the Queen and her court. The second, Highland is Born, depicting the first settlers arriving. Third, religion. Worship was a priority of the first settlers and remains true today. Fourth, the milling industry. One of the requisites of the settlers was a mill to grind their grain. Highland had a large milling industry here until the late 30s. Fifth, the first school. Sixth, a stagecoach transportation for the first settlers. Seventh, the brewing industry. Beer was made in Highland starting about 1850 and was still made here until competition put the small brewery out of business in the 1940s. Eighth, the sharpshooters. Sharpshooting was a European sport and recreation, which the settlers soon found a need for, and the Sharpshooters Society was formed in 1859, and a few years later, Solomon and Joseph Kefley deeded them the land now known as the Sharpshooters Park. Ninth, the Civil War. 10th, the Harmonie, which was a singing society, another facet of their European culture. The Swiss always loved to sing. 11th, Highland is chartered. Highland became a village and received a charter from the Illinois legislature in 1865. 12th, the Turnverein, also a facet of their cultural heritage, was a need for gymnastics. The old Turner Hall, where all this took place, was built in 1869 and is now replaced by the Weinheimer Building. 13th, the Schiller tragedy. A large number of early settlers returning to their native Switzerland for a visit lost their lives when this German steamship sank. Relatives were so grief-stricken, they put a large monument in the city cemetery. 14th, Pet Milk. We are proud this company was started here in 1885. 15th, agriculture, always a very important in the community from the beginning. 16th, pipe organ. Wick's pipe organ started here in 1906, another industry of which we are proud. 16th, the shoe industry started here in 1915 and at one time employed 400 people making ladies' shoes. Competition forced them to close. Now we buy shoes made in Italy or Taiwan. 17th, World War I. In 1937, we had not yet gotten into World War II. 18th, Hug Truck Company, started here in 1922, making heavy-duty trucks used in construction. They operated into the late 1940s. And last, the official 100 years float. All of these floats were horse-drawn. On Sunday, special services were held in all the churches. A special train load of Swiss and German singers and their friends from St. Louis were met at the depot and later transported to the park by many volunteers. The parade was held again at 1 o'clock, and at night the pageant. Highland never had such crowds of people. A delegation from New Glarus, Wisconsin, with a large group of Swiss yodelers, performed many times. There were many Swiss here from St. Louis, Kansas City, and Wisconsin. It was estimated that 25,000 people had attended the celebration. Starting in the spring of 1937, it seemed everyone in the city was enthusiastic and involved in some way or another. Everyone willingly did their part. They opened their hearts and their homes to make all the visitors welcome, and the visitors loved it.